Hi friends, I have a little bit of spare time right now, so I thought I'm going to try to put together some type of video for you because I haven't been on here in several days. It's been pretty crazy. We're getting ready for kids to come and grandkids. I've got my little, here, watch this. See if I can do it. Hey! Anyway, so here's a few things I've been putting together for you. Thanks for joining me, and Merry Christmas. Hi, this short video is for one of my subscribers named Kimmie who asked about my Hackle. Okay, this is my Hackle. She was watching one of the videos I made quite a while back when I used to process my fiber with a Hackle and a Diz and turn it into roving before I would spin. Okay, and I really miss that method. Now I use carders and make rollags, which is nice too, but there's a certain peacefulness that comes with dizzing that I kind of do miss. But this is a homemade Hackle, and I remember watching, boy, that was a long time ago. When I was first getting into spinning, I watched a video about a woman who had a homemade Hackle, and I think that's where I got the idea. If I can find that video, I'll put it up there for you. I'll also put iCards up there of some of my older videos when I'm using my Hackle and my Diz. So here is my Hackle. It's mounted on a heavy piece of wood. This is the third one my husband made because he was having a challenge getting the nails close enough together, and I'd have to say even now you can see that there's quite a bit of inconsistency. Some of them are wider like here and some are closer together, but for something he was making at home, this was the best he could do. He finally, I don't know where he found this metal plate. I'm not really sure. I guess he drilled holes, like you can see there's a hole down here. I guess he drilled a hole for each nail. I didn't watch him make this. He's mounted that metal plate on the bottom like that. Well, the screw heads are on the top. These are 4-inch nails. I think that's the tallest nail I could get at the hardware store. But it did work. When you lash it on, you just do this. Okay, you put it over, not too much in the back, and just pull it through. So it takes some time. Everything with spinning and fiber work takes time, which is why it's relaxing. And you pull it through until you build up here, and you can blend colors that way, which is really nice. I also made, this is just some light cardboard paper of some type. I made a cover for it because this is not the kind of thing that you want to accidentally land your arm on or knock off of a shelf and have it land on your foot with all those nails. So I keep this on here. It's sturdy enough that it gives you protection. I stapled it on the ends. Very simple. Here is my Diz. My husband also made this for me. People use all kinds of different things for a Diz. Trying to think of what I've seen. I can't bring it to mind right away. But this is a PVC pipe, so it would have been a really big piece of PVC pipe, and he cut off this much. And the idea is to have it curved so you can kind of press into it with your thumb. So you want to hold it like this, okay? And he gave me various sizes. I think I tend to use the one that's fourth from the bottoms. Most of them are, you don't want too big or too small. So I tend to use that one right there. Okay, and you would just get a little bit of this fiber, just a little twist of it, and then I would stick my crochet hook through the hole in the Diz and pull that little bit of fiber through and just keep at it. And it forces the fibers to separate from each other and elongate and go all in the right direction. I have used this method both with pre-processed fiber that's really already straight, it's already clean, it's already ready to go, but it's just this roving is a bit thick to spin straight from. And I've also used it to help me process alpaca that was given to me that had not come from a supplier. It came straight from the animal and really needed that combing. You can use, just like with cards, you can use something like this to just put the fiber on, blend it, and pull it off. or you can use it with fiber that needs to be straightened out. It's more in a mess. It's a mess a little bit. It's clean, but it's a mess. And you need to get all the fibers going in the same direction. And you can lash it on. I didn't diz it off each time. I would take it off with this little comb. There it is. I think this was a dog comb. So I would put that alpaca on there because sometimes getting more raw fiber, clean but not straightened fiber, was cheaper. And so I would just pull this off in big wads, and then I would load it back on there and do it all again 3 or 4 times. And I have videos of me doing that as well. Now I've discovered that I really love spinning and I like to get on with it. And so I tend to buy my roving already ready to go. And I hope that's helpful to you. I have a lot of old footage using my Hackle and my Diz and my old spinning wheel that's an antique, but it was fussy to use, like an old lady. She was kind of cranky. And that might be interesting for you to watch too. Thanks for that comment, Kimmie. I hope this helps. Bye-bye. This is just a teeny little video on this little weave. This is a scarf I'm making. I'm almost to the end of it. When I rolled my warp just now, when I advanced it, 2 of my little cardboard things fell out. So you know how close I am to the end. Okay, that's how close. And this is a weave that I used a tensioning device on when I warped it up. And I just advanced this. I pulled this down from about here. And I pulled it all the way down. And then I cranked it tight, tight, tight with this. I really do it as tight as I possibly can. And I have not touched this fell line. This is exactly how the fell line fell. This is exactly how it came after I advanced it and cinched it tight. And I just wanted to share this with you because this is what a tensioning device will do. It will keep your warp so nice and even. Okay. Not only no floats, but a fell line like that to start with as you begin the rest of this panel of wefting. This is just a quick update on this second doily that I'm making. I told you before that as you progress, the doily tends to hang down like a little sack. And I want you to see, it's almost like a little hammock between there. And if I kept on going, it would grow and grow and grow and grow. The only thing limiting the size of this doily would be the length of my actual needles. Although I suppose you could extend the number of stitches into, I guess it's just the length of the circular needles. But I'm going to stop this one now. I told you before I thought I had done 12 rows. This is, I think, 11 rows. Let me count again. I'm keeping track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes. I've ended with a knit row all the way around. And so now I'm going to cast off. And I'm going to cast off and then I'm going to show you again. And I just want you to see how stretched out it from this stitch to this stitch. Seems like it's been pulled out quite a bit, and the same thing on this end. And so it makes you feel like, oh, there's no way that's going to look good. But let me go ahead and cast this off, and I'll come back and show you what will probably be a rather small doily. Okay, maybe big enough for a glass, we'll see. Okay, I've just cast off this half of it, this side that was on this needle. And so now I'm jumping over to the other needle. This is the spot that I said, you know, looks so gappy. And so I'm making that bridge between those 2 stitches. And I want you to see how actually in the end, oh, no. So now we're casting off. I just want you to see how actually in the end, somehow the tension, I guess you would call it, in the yarn evens out, and you really don't end up with this big old gap. And the doily will look even all the way around. So let me finish this casting off, which is my brain is having to work way too hard. And then I'll show it back to you again. Ta-da! And there you have it. It's a little miracle. It went from being that wadded up bunchy thing with gappy ends to this, which I just think is adorable. And if maybe in the wintertime when I'm not quite so pushed with other projects, I'll make some that are a little bit bigger. I don't even have a glass in here right now so I can see what size it is, but it fits in mine. I bet I could get like the bottom of a stem glass in there. Anyway, kind of pretty. So that's the rest of that pattern. Give it a try if you can. Hi YouTube friends. This is just a quick little note about using salt on watercolors. Now this is a little piece, this is a card I did for my mother. I'm going to mail it off to her for Christmas. She loves English robins, and that's a terrible attempt at an English robin, but I really want to talk about the salt. Okay, you're supposed to use really as little moisture as possible. When I did this, I started at one corner, and as I would paint it, I would move the liquid, the water and pigment, the wet pigment down until I had just the thinnest layer of liquid left. And then I would sprinkle salt on it with my left hand while I was continuing to paint with my right hand, because you want very little, I don't want to say water, it's wet pigment. You want very little wet pigment. If you have too much, the salt won't work. This is probably the best salting I've done yet. I'm quite excited about this. And I'm using Mission Gold. This was cobalt blue. Okay. And it turned out really well. But just a few minutes before I did that one, I'm working on this. This is also a little Christmas present for my son-in-law. He's a professional musician, plays the guitar. And I wanted to do the background of this also in a salted blue. And I used the very same method. I gradually worked. I sprinkled the salt on. And there is some salt effect. You can see it in there. But it's not nearly as dramatic. I mean, it is all over. It's rather faint. You can even see there's a spot where the salt is still there. And it's interesting. I'm going to go back with some white pen and make snowflakes. And I don't have to make any snowflakes with this. They are right there. It's almost like the crystalline structure of the salt and a snowflake are similar, and it just shines through. And you may ask yourself, why? With the very same paint, this is an ultramarine color on the guitar, and this is, as I said, is cobalt. But otherwise, there's no difference between these two, except the paper. This is a Strathmore watercolor paper card. I order those. So Strathmore paper. And this is a large roll of bee paper. Now, bee paper that they're selling at Walmart now is really junky and awful. But the thing is that this old roll of bee paper, it's very absorbent. And I think generally the Strathmore cards are not as absorbent. That's my impression, but as I was painting this, it was really soaking up that water. So much so that when I put the salt on it, the pigment seemed to be so busy going into the paper that it didn't mess with the salt. It really didn't interact with the salt as much as I wanted it to. So it is what it is. I think it might be a nice background salting effect, but not what I wanted. What I wanted was something like this. So my mother, I hope, will be tickled pink and put this on her mantle. I could do a card for my son-in-law, but I wanted something that he could frame. So anyway, I'll keep on working on this. Maybe I'll share with y'all when I get done with this one. I still need to work on those holly leaves a little bit, but this one's pretty much done once it's dry. Okay, a little bit of painting there. Well, I just put all of this roofing metal into the back of our van, in addition to an old metal table, an old metal box, a couple of painting pans, and even a very long pipe. I'm quite excited to get rid of this. Let me show you, of course this is the area I showed you before where it came from, and now I only have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them left. I might be able to get this done today. And I really want to get over there and continue with that burn barrel, which is a really fun thing to do. But this is a pretty fun thing to do. It's a bit heavy, but not too bad. I'm trying to take it slowly, very slowly. So now we're going to go to the big recycling center in our county where you can take this kind of stuff. When I get there, I'll try to remember to share it with you. I kind of forget I have my camera with me and that I'm supposed to film. I'm sorry.